I'm not going to go into too much details about this because I've already been talking about this over on YouTube on my expectations. So, like I said, head over to there and give it a watch. You need a drink. You know, dehydration's going to kick in, isn't it? Because it's getting too hot, and all you need is a nice bottle of refreshing water or whatever you like to drink on a hot day, and you can't even take that with you. Now, Cedar Point, or I think it might have been Busch Gardens, released an image of one of the wheels of a roller coaster. I think it was Busch Gardens on SheiKra. Of a mobile phone. It was an iPhone stuck to the wheel off the train. Now, why would you be that stupid? I mean, fair enough, getting in contact with the theme park, asking if you can use a chest-mounted GoPro. That's okay, because a chest mount is safer than a loose article in your hand. But pulling a mobile phone out your pocket to get a recording, that's ridiculous. Why would you risk your own safety and the safety of other guests? If you look at it at an Alton Towers point of view, if people have been recording on Oblivion, they completely stop the ride and somebody has to get harnessed up and walk all the way up the lift hill to go and retrieve the mobile phone, to then walk back down the lift hill and then send the train on its way. Why would you do that? You've got to ask yourself the question, why would you do it? I mean, I'm guilty as charged. When I went to Leesburg back in June, I did use my GoPro, but I got in contact with the theme park's press office and I asked if I can use my GoPro with a chest mount on the rides. They immediately got back to me and said, yes, you can do, but make sure you make the ride host aware that you've been granted permission to record on the rides. There's a lot of controversy over using loose articles on rides, but if you read through a few ride manuals, they say anything that's loose, is a very, very, very dangerous article towards a ride and the ride's safety. Now, with everything that happened with the Smiler, I know that wasn't loose article related, but theme parks are battening down the hatches on loose articles. Now, for me, pulling a loose article out on a roller coaster should be an immediate dismissal from the theme park. Now, I know on some of the ride signs at Alton Towers, it does say being caught with a loose article or a recording device will remove you from the park. Now, I think Alton Towers are very lenient on this. They don't, from what I've noticed, they don't really kick anybody off the theme park. They give them a warning, or I think they make them delete the footage, and then, send them on the way. But, your lesson should be learned. If you're being caught, you should just stop. I mean, I've never been caught because I've always asked for permission. I know when I was younger, I bought a little spy camera off of eBay, and it was a watch. Now, that's okay because it's a watch. It's a watch on your wrist, and it's not going to come off because it's tied on with a buckle. But an iPhone, you pay anywhere up to £800 for these devices. Why would you risk damaging an £800 device? It's just barbaric. And I think anybody who does that, they need to have a serious chat with themselves, because, I mean, why? Why would you do it? And this topic really gets on my nerves because people are that stupid, and I'm being very, very open with this subject. You just wouldn't do it and risk the safety of you and the others. So, with that being that, I'm going to leave that topic there. I mean, I know I was going to talk about it in more detail, but it's only getting me stressed out. But, read the theme park's policy. They have FAQs on the website for a reason. And if you're unsure about it, get in contact with somebody at the theme park. Ask them if you're allowed to film or if you're allowed to use chest-mounted GoPros. I mean, chest-mounted GoPros are okay. I don't see a problem with that because it's secure. The article's secure on your, on your body. So, if you have all the safety checks on that, then I don't think that should be a problem. But always get in contact if you're unsure with the theme park via email, or even give them a ring and then get them to explain the policy for you, so then you can then act upon that. A lot of people might do that and then start recording on the rides, but that's up to you. But myself, I wouldn't. So this was only a short podcast. I'm not making a long podcast today because, like I said, the news that was released was very, very scarce this week. We've not had much announcements, and obviously because Scarefest is and all the Halloween events are drawing closer and closer, there's not really much to talk about, and there's only so much you can ramble on. So I'm going to make weekly episodes of this podcast. I'm going to make brand new episodes every single week, which will air on iTunes, and I will be bringing you live updates from theme parks and other scare attractions this year. I think I'm not going to be very active during the scare event season this year because I'm going abroad in December, so money's very stretched at the moment. I've got other things to pay for, and I'm kind of disappointed because last year I visited Scarefest quite often last year, so I think I'll only be visiting that event 3 or 4 times this year. So look out for a brand new episode every single week, airing here on iTunes and SoundCloud. Thank you very much for listening. If you did like, please subscribe and come back for more theme park chats. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.